Wow. I was almost on time, y'all, but y'all can give me 5 minutes of grace. What's going on? It's your boy Foots the King here. Um, what I'll do is let a few people get in here. A lot to talk about tonight, and I'm really excited to get to our talks tonight. So I'm starting this one here, and these are going to be part of our two weekly videos that I'm giving you guys, mixed with uh, anything else that comes to mind. There were actually a few things that came to mind um, that I was really impressed with. That I think that you know when we in what we do, sometimes it's hey, what's going on, everybody? Sometimes I think that we want to move on quickly, but I think kind of the truth is this is a win, for lack of better words. This was a win that to me is worth. I wouldn't say harping on, or acting like we're going to the Super Bowl off of this win, but it definitely was a win that I believe that the Cowboys told you who they were in the offseason by the way they drafted, by the way they team built. And then you saw these athletes come in game one, not two. It didn't take Stephon Gilmore time to get his sea legs. It didn't take Brandon Cooks time to get his sea legs. Like, they came in game one and made plays. So I just want to say that I'm really excited to get to this show. I got 5 thoughts from film. So what I did was really go watch, really dissect, uh, and I may be one of the few people who actually, you guys probably can't see this, but I go play by play. Okay, let me see. Oh, there it is. I go play by play. Um, and then I actually write down notes. Like, really do write down notes. So, like, that's how much I care about y'all, and that's how much that I want to get the information to you all. Now, the truth is this: what the Cowboys were able to do is not easy, because you got to think Brian Dayball. He's had a month to prepare. Brian Dayball has had a month to prepare for the Cowboys. I think that he's been labeled a genius and some great offensive play caller, and I think that he is. I think what happened is, and and I don't know if people are really talking about this part of things, the Jimmys and Joes, the X's and O's. Sometimes I believe that teams underestimate the Jimmys and Joes. Dallas got some Jimmys, Dallas got some Joes. The Giants, and I said this throughout the game, weren't going to threaten the Cowboys on the edge. I said this, and people, how's everybody doing tonight, man? Much love to y'all. Make sure we get the likes up. I see the love already, man. It's only 3 minutes in, and we running the numbers up. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. We're actually coming back tomorrow, and we'll start talking about the uh, the Jets defense, who everybody seems to be scared of. And by the way, I'm not, like, I'm gonna say that now. And if you have nervous energy, this isn't the channel for you. I don't want to talk about how good this Jets defense is. They're okay. The Jets defense is okay, but I don't want to give them too much credit. I want to give us credit. We're a good team. Um, there you go, King Marquise. They definitely had their vitamin C. So I just want to say that um I just want to say that, to me, when you think about that Jets team, and if you watched Hard Knocks, and if you're a NFL junkie like myself, I really do um believe that that Jets team was one of the most overhyped teams, even with Aaron Rodgers. I thought it was just disgusting how much they. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a good player, but to me, that I don't believe in treating one player like they're Jesus on earth. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Some of the things, some of the hype train stuff that they were doing with Aaron Rodgers. I'm just like, and I don't know, maybe it was shot this way, but it's, there was a shot where Randall Cobb is, hey, 8 won't throw you the ball if you guys do your job, and every 5 minutes solid, 8 is, this and that, and he is really good. Aaron Rodgers is outstanding. He can make every throw, this, that, and the third. But when you put that much into a team, and now you guys see why the Dallas Cowboys picked up Trey Lance. Now you see why. Because unfortunately, the Jets season is over. If something were to happen to Dak, I'm not saying that this team is going to go as far as they would, because I believe this team is going to go extremely far, but they won't have a shadow of a doubt. It won't be the misery, doom, and gloom that it is right now. I mean, that team's scrambling. If you had Trey Lance, if the Jets had Trey Lance right now, I feel like they would feel a little bit better. I mean, granted, him and Zach Wilson came out in the same draft, and both have, to NFL standards, underachieved. To me, one had a different reason than the other. But the point is, I really do believe that Dallas really covered themselves. So I just, this is why the Cowboys said, you're putting a quarterback like Trey Lance on the market. We're going to pick him up. And we're going to trade for him. And I believe also, and this is just the God's honest truth, when you think about, okay, you now brought in a quarterback that fits the exact same mold as your quarterback. So if Cooper Rush started to hit a wall and he turns into a pumpkin, you brought in Trey Lance, your season wouldn't be completely over. The Jets season is completely over. So I just thought that the Jets it was just when, and you put so much into a guy who's that. I mean, dog, Aaron Rodgers is old. He's 39. I don't believe that. I don't want to wish this on him. I mean, you never wish injury on a guy, but I don't really know if he should try to make a serious comeback. I just don't know if they should do that. Would I trade Trey Lance to the Jets for a second round pick? Me personally, I would not, because I think that if he shows something in preseason later on, I think you could. I won't say you could get more for him, but I think that there'll be situations like this that happen every year, and you'll have that opportunity again. So and you still have a season that you have to get through, and so for security, I don't know if I would do that. I don't know if I would do that. So let's pay bills, guys. Before we get too far into this thing, I want to give our dynamic sponsor a big shout out. Okay. Yes, we are talking about the insurance lady, the real insurance lady. So, what I need you guys to understand is the real insurance lady, you guys can get coverage, real coverage. Okay. Under less than probably it'll take you to watch this video. Okay. So, I just want you guys to understand this. Today's sponsor is the Real Insurance Lady. The best thing about it is you can get health insurance coverage for free. 95% of the applicants who apply get it at zero cost per month. Affordable Health Care Act legislation, Obamacare, pays for your coverage so you can see the doctor you need. It's easy. It's quick. Request a quote. Visit the website. You guys see the website right here. You guys see the banner. I'm going to go through it. This is what it looks like. You guys see everything that's going on. Look at that beautiful family. This is our beautiful sponsors for today. The nation's #1 Obamacare producing agency. You guys make sure that you show them love. All the information will be in the chat box. So, much love to you all. I got 5 thoughts. Okay. Again, real notes. I got 5 thoughts from watching film. And we're also going to get into the Jets offense and what it will look like with. That's right, Marky. We do. We all need insurance. So make sure you check out the Real Insurance Lady. I want to get into the Jets offense without Aaron Rodgers because obviously things changed. They do have some pieces. Brees Hall being one of them. I think we're going to have to choke the run. I like Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook historically has not given the Cowboys problems for whatever reason. We've just been able to bottle him up. But I do like Brees Hall. I think he does have some jump to his game. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Garrett Wilson, somebody who I cover coming out of the draft. Outside of that, tight end and receiver too, man. So we'll talk about those things. And then tomorrow we'll come back and talk about this great Jets defense that everybody's worried about. So to me, I think that's where the Cowboys can honestly attack some things. Really fast flowing D line. Jermaine Johnson, he has turned into a good player. We know who Quentin Williams is. So they do have some pieces, but at the end of the day, I think the Cowboys are a better team, and I think this Cowboys team can beat this team by 2 touchdowns. I'm not going to run from that. If you have scared energy, this is not the channel for you. All right, thought number 1. Does somebody keep notes of these thoughts? I believe that the Cowboys have an extreme amount of trust in Juanyeh Thomas. So it wasn't just the block punt that was special. Some of the ways that they used him schematically was awesome. I mean, you're seeing a guy. There were times when the Giants were running motion. He's on the roof. There's times where he's in a split safety look. So you're getting those cover 2 shells. You're getting middle of the field open, but you have to have a safety who understands his run fit in those type of deals. There's times where he's in the box. I think it's extremely interesting just how fast Juanyeh Thomas has become a player. Like, I mean, he wasn't even on my radar. Like, he wasn't on my radar so much. I don't even have his measurables. You know, I don't know his clock time. I don't know any of that stuff. And y'all know how much I'm into the draft and prospects and all that type of stuff. So the fact that this staff trusts him that much, number one, it lets me know that they put a high emphasis on undrafted free agents. Number 2, it lets me know that if Dan Quinn believes in you, he's going to give you every opportunity. And there's another player that I'm going to talk about. He's going to give you every opportunity to make plays. You know, you see the PBU against Waller. That's not easy. Opens up, flips his hip. And, you know, I don't know if Waller was healthy. He had one play where he broke open like a middle of the field deal that looked really, really clean. But I just don't know if Waller was like himself, but that's not our problem. You're out there, you're healthy. And so I just really believe that the trust that they have in Juanyeh Thomas was outstanding. Thought number 2. It's going to be extremely hard. Dang, Reaper, you're a bad boy. Let's put the Reaper on the stage, man. It's going to be extreme. This is my thought number 2. I have it written down. It's going to be extremely, extremely hard to take Marquise Bell off the field when Donovan Wilson comes back. I think that Dan Quinn called a masterpiece, but one of the other things that I really was impressed with was how much he trusts not only Juanyeh Thomas, but how much he trusts Marquise Bell. I think the way that Marquise Bell played in the box needs to be talked about. There was a play when he basically, you know, the box got light because I think either they motioned Waller or, I believe they motioned Waller or Slayton. And teams will do that to try to see. Some teams are doing that as a part of the play. Some teams are doing that to try to get information. I believe they motioned Slayton out of the box. And when they did that, the box got light, and it was like, hey, Bell, it's you versus Saquon. I think it was like inside zone. That was the run. And Marquise Bell made a play. And I'm just like, wow. Then there's another play where, and this is what kind of made me question Brian Daboll, because I said, okay, hey, Brian Daboll, you know, great coach. He's going to turn Daniel Jones into Josh Allen. And by the way, guys, I'm really kind of tired of um I'm really kind of tired of the Josh Allen conversation. Guys, is low hanging fruit. Let's run our race. I hate to tell you this, the Bills don't have a team that the Cowboys have. They don't have the identity. Mike McCarthy is creating identity, and we'll talk about some of that on the show tomorrow. We'll talk about their defense, and because Mike McCarthy actually dialed up some great stuff. And the Giants don't have a bad defense, by the way. Corners and linebackers and D-line, you could put their D-line up there with the Jets. I would say the Jets may be a hair better, but it's close. So anyway, back to Bell. Just how stout he was in the box. I saw Brian Daboll basically try to outflank the Cowboys and run direct snap, and that was interesting because number one, I don't know why you're doing that against a team as fast flowing as the Cowboys, but number two, when you saw Bell just step around the guard and the tackle and just make the tackle, I thought it was awesome because it lets me know that he has a feel in the box to get through trash. He has a feel in the box to get through trash, and I think that's what I mean by you're gonna have to keep him on the field. Now you're gonna have to keep Donovan Wilson on the field. So my third question is, which one of these linebackers are coming off the field? And that was going to be my third thought. So that's thought number 3. I'm going to be the first to say this, and I tweeted this. I don't know if anybody's paying attention. Dan Quinn is changing how defenses are going to play defense in the NFL. If you guys haven't noticed, and I watch film, I'm whispering because I don't want this information to get out. Dan Quinn is playing football with a lot of safeties. He's playing football with safeties. There were times where, and that's what I said, the trust that he has in Thomas, there were times I counted them where it was Bell, Wanye, Malik Hooker, J-Ron, all on the field at the same time. That's 4 quote-unquote safeties. When they say positionless football, they mean positionless football. I'm going to tell you right now, and you got to make sure that you stop the run. That's a fact. Hey, Redmond, we really different. We really are different. That's why I said keep the nervous energy away from me. Y'all can keep that. Mind you, Izzy didn't even get in his bag. There may be a time where they take Damone Clark off the field when Donald comes, even in base situations, because of how well Bell flies to the football, how well Thomas flies to the football, and how physical they are. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that Damone Clark is not going to be on this team, but those guys, they just possess a different skill set. They possess a different skill set. So, thought number 3, and when people start talking about this, I really want you guys to come back to the Carfax and say, dang, Foots was ahead of this. He was ahead of his time. He's a trendsetter. One of these linebackers may have to come off the field. It's going to be LV or Damone Clark because the speed and safety is still real. Dan Quinn has always had defenses where he wanted speed. Dan Quinn has always had defenses where he wanted guys that flew to the ball. He wanted this type of defense in Atlanta when Deion Jones was like the first of these type of athletes. Now he has a full team of them. And he might have one at each level. This is going to be fun, y'all. This is going to be fun. Thought number 4. We said that we wanted diversity from this offense. How about KaVontae Turpin being used in multiple ways? I think that was the wrinkle that I didn't know that I needed that I actually liked. How about that? Let's clap for Mike McCarthy. Oh, and by the way, Mike McCarthy called an excellent game. Players got to execute. I tweeted this out. I love Jake Ferguson. Mike McCarthy designed something that was really cool. It was 11 personnel. He had CD come in motion. Why do teams do that? They want to get information. They want to get that information. They bring CD in motion. They run quick. They were not even a quick out, but a 7 and out, a bang out. Boom. Ferguson flies open. Dak puts it on him. Drop. Mike McCarthy is making life easy for these Cowboys. He's pressing easy buttons for Dak Prescott. But guys have to make plays. Guys, meaning Hendershot and Ferguson. I thought Ferguson did an excellent job blocking. I thought that him and Hendershot were terrible as pass catchers, and that part has to get cleaned up. There's no way around it. That part has to get cleaned up. Even in a 40-point win, that part has to get cleaned up. Mike McCarthy did a good job. And I believe that the way that Turpin was used was the wrinkle that I didn't know that I needed that I really, really like. Seeing Turpin catch, that little pitch vibe. Seeing Turpin getting used in the flats. Because why are we doing these things? What Turpin is he's a mismatch, just like Deuce Vaughn, in space. So what Mike is saying is, if you're going to use resources against CeeDee Lamb, and then we hit you backside with Cooks a couple times because the Cowboys were able to do that as well. If you're going to use these resources to stop our guys, well, you better have some athletes underneath that can run with our speed. I thought Tony Pollard looked like Tony Pollard. You didn't even and that's one thing that I want people to understand and stop whining about this Cowboys offense. The Cowboys offense didn't have to call much stuff. Why? There's no need to. You'll see more of good play design versus the Jets. The Jets will get stops, and then the Cowboys will make plays as well. But I just think that, to me, I really like the design and the creativity when it came to KaVontae Turpin. And that's also just putting those wrinkles on film, giving those defensive coordinators something else to worry about. And I really, really like that. Guys, make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys send this video around. Guys, I'm with you guys all year. 2 videos a week. We're breaking down offenses, defenses. This week we got the Jets. I got 2 more thoughts. Then we'll get to the Jets offense. Then I'll answer questions. Then I'm going to go to bed. Wanted to give you guys good energy, and that's what I did. Thought number 4. This Cowboys defensive end room can legit go 5 deep. Which is actually kind of crazy when you really, really think about it. Micah Parsons is the best player on our team. There are going to be games when Dante Fowler has the most sacks. There are going to be games when Chauncey Golston, who had 2 sacks, by the way, who I love Chauncey Golston's game. I love his arm length. There are going to be games when Chauncey Golston just absolutely goes bananas. There are going to be games when Osa gets loose because Micah Parsons throws that many layups. He throws that many alley-oops. He's the point guard of our D-line. Because once he starts going, now protection changes. One of the wrinkles that Dan Quinn is probably a better defensive coordinator than he is head coach, and that's okay. I would pay him head coach money and keep him as a DC. And, he's a better DC than he is coordinator. I mean, it just is what it is. He's gotten so multiple. He can blitz when he wants. He can sit back. He can play man. He can choke the run. He's found it out, man. And it's really incredible what Dan Quinn was able to do. He's found out that when you get Micah matched up on a guard, these guys are done. They just don't have the speed, especially in pass pro. They just don't have the speed, guys. They don't. They don't. They just do not have the speed. Most offensive lines don't have the footwork. They don't have the footwork to deal with the athlete, the caliber of Micah Parsons. They just don't. And so Dan Quinn knows that, and he's taking advantage of that. Right? Um, I think that those are going to be the things that I'm going to continue to watch, um, and just to see how Dan Quinn continues to play games. But this team can go 5 deep at the end, and those guys can make plays. I didn't even mention DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence had a sneaky good game. He had a bull rush where he just legit walked the tackle. And poor Evan Neal. You almost kind of feel bad for the guy. Evan Neal. I mean, I don't know. His PFF grade might have been a negative F. It's ridiculous. I mean, he couldn't get one. I mean, he was getting walked back into Daniel Jones' lap. And before you know it, 1 second and Daniel Jones is literally just running for his life. Giants' problem, not mine. I remember when the Giants had a good D-line. I don't know if it was this good, but the Giants also had a good D-line as well. Okay. Thought 5. And this one is going to be one that, and this isn't me starting stuff or putting these guys against each other by any means necessary. But I think that we are going to go through the year, and I think there are going to be times that Cowboys fans are going to say Stephon Gilmore is a better cover corner than Trevon Diggs. And I think that that's going to be the case a lot. Watching Stephon Gilmore pattern match was so great. That's what I mean. When I watch film, I'm not watching just to like have the first and be the first to post something like the low hanging fruit. Like I'm really going back and watching. Thank you, April. April's keeping track of my thoughts. I'm really going back and watching, like, man, Stephon Gilmore is running these guys' routes for them. It's incredible. Now, him and Diggs win differently. So this isn't, I'm trying not to be messy, April. I'm sorry. This isn't messy foots. I promise I'm not. But I think one of the things that we have to understand is Diggs wins with beating you up. Gilly wins with this and by staying square and running your routes and knowing what he's getting based on the shapes that these routes have to make. Like if they're running a snag concept, for those of you guys that don't know what snag is, it's basically corner, slant and stop, or slant, something and breaking, and then it's a flat concept. Well, Gilly understands that. Like, not only has he seen it, but he knows how to play, and he could tell tells, and he understands all those types of things, and you see it on film. I mean, there were just times there was no separation from any of these Giants receivers. And the reason why is he could tell pre-snap what's coming. Yes, that's it, April. Thank you so much. He can tell pre-snap what's coming. Not only can he tell pre-snap, he's going to run your route pre-snap. Based on alignment, based on tendencies, based on what you're trying to do. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun year. And I think, I can honestly say, I think that Diggs invites playing with Gilly because I think that he says, first of all, I don't want to be the corner that's being attacked. But number two, I think I need to come in to the office and learn from this guy every single day. I really, really liked and respect everything that Anthony Brown did for us. So I'm going to say that right here now. Anthony Brown was a very good player for the Dallas Cowboys. But when you have a corner the caliber of Stephon Gilmore, it just changes what you can do defensively. I hate to say it like that, but it does. It changes what you can do defensively. When you have a Diggs on one side, a Gilmore on the other side, it changes. It makes things different. You can call those 5-man pressures. You can call certain things. You can get funky in the back end. Why? Because you know that you have a guy who's going to hold up if they have a stud receiver. One read teams like the Eagles who struggled this weekend, I'm going to say it. I said it all off season. Everything is RPO action. RPO action. One read. They don't play progression football. Dak is playing progression football. Boom, boom. Oh, boom. Check down. Boom. Get there. That's not what Philly's doing. When you try that against Stephon Gilmore, he's going to get you. Oh, by the way, Micah Parsons is chasing you. By the way, we've made improvements for our run game. By the way, it really looked like Lane Johnson took a step back. So my point is, it having a guy like that changes how you can play defense. You can do different things. You can run blitz now. If they think they're going to run slant behind it, you better be careful because Gilmore will get you. He's that good of a player. So I didn't mean to get that animated, but I'm giving y'all all I got. I'm giving y'all my best. Chat box, I'm giving y'all my all. This is my thoughts, man. It's just my thoughts. I wrote it down. Gilmore is really that. Gilmore's really that. They're not playing soft because, again, he's really that. So those are my 5 thoughts, man. Let's see who did their homework with me. Somebody repeat my 5 thoughts for me in the chat box, and let's get to this Jets offense. So to me, when I look at this Jets roster and I look at this Jets offense, I will be completely honest with you. Even before Aaron Rodgers got hurt, I can honestly say there wasn't this nervous vibe from me when it came to A-Rod. And that's quite frankly because the Jets depth chart on the offensive line is just pathetic. And I think that I really do believe and think that, I won't say that they took it lightly or took it for granted, but, Laken Tomlinson, Elijah Vera Tucker hasn't become what they thought he would be. Connor McGovern at center. I mean, let's be honest. He couldn't crack the starting lineup consistently for the Cowboys. And when he was in there, he was just okay. That's why you drafted Tyler Smith. Love you, McGovern, but it is what it is. Mekhi Becton is decent. Dwayne Brown is okay. All in all, as a unit, it's just not going to be good enough. And then you talk about Zach Wilson. And I want to make myself very clear when I say this. Oh, you know what? That is the different Connor McGovern. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's Missouri's Connor McGovern. He went to Missouri. Sorry about that. Well, our Connor McGovern couldn't crack the starting lineup. I'm sorry about that. So, and I want to be very clear about this when I talk about Zach Wilson. Those of you who have followed me in every draft podcast that I've done, and when I talk about other players, I want to be very clear. I have never liked Zach Wilson's game. Ever. I have never liked Zach Wilson's game. And it'll be my luck he goes out there and he goes crazy. Hey, shout out to you. Can we give claps to King Marquise? My guy. Look at this. My man did his homework, baby. Yes, Marquise, these were all my thoughts. And those of you guys who were just tapping in, we did some really heavy film notebook stuff, and it was really cool. Shout out to anybody who's thinking about giving a super chat. Thank you guys so much. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get these likes up. Okay, let's talk about this Jets team. Zach Wilson, year 3. I haven't seen much progression against the Bills yesterday. Obviously, he's coming in cold, but I can honestly. Oh, hold on. Let's stay right here. I got some time, so I can fight a little bit. I didn't like Trey Lance. I love Trey Lance. And guess what, Joseph? I still love Trey Lance. I really believe that Trey Lance wasn't given the shot that he deserved, mixed with how he was handled as far as keeping a veteran around. If you're going to give Trey Lance, I'm not going to go and get into, I already talked about it, but the truth is, if you're going to give Trey Lance a shot, then you move on from Jimmy G. If you're going to give Trey Lance a shot, then you put in an offense that makes sense for Trey Lance. You're looking at Anthony Richardson. He has success. Why? They put in an offense that makes sense for him. Now they lost the game, but he had some success. You look at, teams that have success early on with quarterbacks. Let's do things to make him comfortable. The Niners did none of that. They just didn't. Shanahan, hey, Trey, you got to be able to run my scheme. Even though you're one of the youngest quarterbacks in the league, you need to be able to run my scheme. I know that you're coming from North Dakota State, but you need to be able to run my scheme like now. Like, development is a real thing. Get this guy a chance. So, Joseph, I like that shot. I appreciate it, but I don't run from any smoke. So if you ever want to have that debate, I'll send you the link and we can talk about it. Zach Wilson and me, I just didn't see a leader. And I also saw a guy who was playing at BYU and he was playing against bad teams in a COVID year where he, I never forget when they played, it wasn't Western Carolina. I forget. They played Coastal Carolina. They played Coastal Carolina. I'll never forget this game. This is how much that I cover the draft and love it. And all I kept hearing was Zach Wilson is this just amazing quarterback, this, that, and the third. And I just didn't see the leadership. I think Coastal Carolina maybe had like one defensive lineman that was a pro, and he was destroying BYU's offensive line, and Zach was getting frustrated, and I just didn't see a guy who was a good leader and stayed poised and could really put the team on his back. Now, he was a great front runner when they all had better talent, but the truth of the matter is this: you're going to the Jets, who was a talent-poor team, and now you have to make teams better. You have to make the team better. People have to believe in you. I don't think that there's one person today in that Jets locker room who believed in Zach Wilson or who does believe in Zach Wilson. And it was evident on Hard Knocks, and it was evident with how much. Obviously Aaron Rodgers is good, and but when a team is just acting like groupies, you can't win that way. And they were all acting like groupies, and it was like, oh yeah, we're just gonna sit here and let Zach develop. Well, hey, guess what, Jets? You drafted Zach number 2 overall. You need to have him ready to go. Like, what are we talking about? But the truth is, Mike White came in, was it either last year, 2 years ago, or last year, played better football than Zach Wilson. Joe Flacco was a better option than Zach Wilson. Unfortunately, he just isn't going to pan out with the Jets. It is what it is. And so that's one of the biggest cogs in their offense is the quarterback. And now the problem is, even if he is going to get better, it probably won't be this week against this defensive line. So we have to call a spade a spade. If Zach's going to do this development and this, that, and the third, I wouldn't want to do much development against Micah Parsons, Dorrance Armstrong, pick a DN, any DN. I wouldn't want to do much development against Stephon Gilmore and Trevon Diggs. I wouldn't want to do much development against DeMarcus Lawrence. Now, Breece Hall is a really good player, and I want to stay here for a second. Breece Hall can play. He has juice. He has pop. And the thing that I like about Breece Hall's game is he's really, really fast. Breece Hall is really, really fast. Like, he can run away from you. But the problem is that now that it's Zach Wilson versus Aaron Rodgers, you better know and understand that box is going to be loaded as if you're playing Saquon Barkley. So guess what? If you were able to donut Saquon Barkley, you're going to be able to donut Breece Hall. I just hate to say it like that. Their offensive lines are pretty similar. Actually, their offensive lines are screenshot similar. Garrett Wilson is a nice piece. And that's going to be the matchup that I'm really watching, because he can make plays. He's a really good player. You saw one of the things that I like about him is that he's not the biggest, tallest athlete, but the route running, his conditioning is outstanding. So he's going to be running his routes fast every time. I'll be interested to see if the Cowboys flip with him and Diggs or him and Gilmore, if they do certain things to throw him off his game, if they put hands on him, if they do these types of things, or if they just say, we're going to play it how we play it, and it is what it is. Garrett Wilson is a really good player. All respect to him. You know, so I do want to say that he's a really good player. Outside of that, Tyler Conklin, not bad. Alan Lazard, he's a name. He's a guy. He was brought in for Aaron Rodgers, and unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be playing this season. And then Randall Cobb, he's probably a little bit past his time. And again, he was brought in for the quarterback, and now the quarterback's not going to be playing. So to me, if I had to put a bow on this, guys, it's Breece Hall, it's Garrett Wilson, it's attack, Zach Wilson. Make him be great against this great defense, and I just don't think that he can. I don't think that he will. I do have the Cowboys winning by 2 touchdowns. Guys, we're up to 300 people in here. Let's get these likes up. Let's get some questions. Let's get some questions. It's been a really good live. We got to a lot of good stuff. I even had to jump on somebody because they called me out for liking Trey Lance. Why y'all want to do that to me? Why y'all want to fight me? Oh, we're going to talk about, Ledbetter. We're going to talk about that Jets defense that they're basically calling the doomsday defense, and, the Jets and everybody's being scared. I told y'all, scare energy, y'all. It's you bring a scare energy to this channel. We're not talking. I can't talk to you. Questions. How do you think Mozzie played? This is a really good one. I think Mozzie's bag was decent. I did not see him getting blown off the ball. Outside of the first drive, the run game wasn't an issue. So I thought that was pretty good, Modelo. I thought that Mozzie played good. Let's get to April. Are the Cowboys O-line better in the pass on the run? That's a really good question. I thought that their pass fit was good. I think that they're probably a better run blocking O-line. I thought that Tyron Smith still does a great job in those pin and pull gap schemes, April, where you see him getting out in space. You see the receiver pin down. You see the receiver pin here. You see Tyron wrap around. He still does that very well. If he gets on a linebacker, he's going to finish you. I thought the run game was decent, especially going against a good run defense. It was good enough. You had a mixed bag with Dowdle and Tony Pollard, and I thought they played really, really well. Ty, your guess is as good as mine. How is Tyler Smith doing? I would love to know myself. So that's a really good one. O-line questions, any depth play. You know what? I want to say this. I thought Chuma Edoga played better than I thought. I thought that Chuma Edoga played better than I thought that he would. I want to give him a lot of respect. He played really, really good. Jordan Lewis, when's he coming back? Honestly, the way the defense played, he doesn't have to be in a rush. He does not have to be in a rush. Let's get to Jim. Jim loves seeing Tyron blocking down film like I did. Absolutely, Jim. I just talked about that. How did LVE look to you? Honestly, I mean, nothing got to him. To be real with you, Bell was knifing through. Thomas was knifing through, and his D-line made plays, so really nothing got to LVE, so it was kind of like hard to grade him. I mean, he didn't do anything bad. It was kind of like hard to grade him. Any more questions, guys, before we get out of here? Chuma played really, really good. I want to see more Turpin. Yeah, I agree. Turpin played really, really good. All right, let's get to this last one. This is a long one. Let's talk about it. I think what makes this the best CB duo we've ever had is this. Byron in 2019 was locked down, but nobody ever targeted him. Gilly and Trey are 2 completely different cornerbacks and will be great. Agree. I think this is facts, my Yankee. But the difference is I think that both of these guys might be better than Byron Jones. Byron Jones was a great athlete. I don't know if he was a great football player. I'm going to tell you right now, Diggs is a better football player than Jones. I don't know if he's a better athlete, but he's a better football player than Jones. And Gilmore is a former defensive player of the year. I don't know if he's a former defensive player of the year. I know he's all pro. He might be former defensive player of the year. Somebody check me on that. But I do know that he's a better corner than listen, Gilmore is a better corner than Byron Jones ever was. And that's just the facts. Even at 31, he is. So, all right, guys, it's your boy Foots. Guys, make sure you guys share and send this around. This was awesome. Listen, I'm not surprised at what happened because this is who the Cowboys are. This is what they've been building. This is what they told you when we say we're going to draft and develop. We mean that. So we're going to draft Marquise Bell, sit him on ice for a year, and then we're going to unleash him. We're going to draft, or we're going to sign. They were both undrafted free agents. We're going to sign both of those guys, sit them on ice, get them in the scheme, practice, work hard as hell, and then they're going to play great football. Let's see if we can get to 300. Once we get to 300, I'll give my parting thoughts. It just dropped back down. It's all good. I just believe that if you follow me, and I'll leave it here. If you follow me, I've said the strength of this team is now this defense. In the discussion, the strength of this team is now this defense. So we can sit around and cry about the offense and how sexy it needs to be and this, that, and the third, or we can get happy playing good defense and winning some ugly games because we're going to have to do that at some point this year. We'll have some blowouts as well, like this one, but we'll have to win some ugly games as well, and I think the Cowboys will. It's your boy Foots, guys. Thank you always for sharing, and subscribing. Make sure you guys hit the chat box if you guys want to support financially, because nobody left me a super chat. What's going on? I must not be doing my job. Nobody left your boy a super chat. Make sure you do that. If you guys want to support financially, there is the Cash App. Much love to you guys. We will be back tomorrow with Bosh Lombardi talking about this outstanding Jets defense. It's your boy Foots. Peace.